Okay, let's put some of these principles of squareness in on paper and explore them a little bit. So you should have this worksheet in front of you doing it with me. Will you make sure your name is on it? Draw a square and a rectangle, the properties of each. So a square means that each corner is 90 degrees, and it also means that this side and this side are equal, and that side are equal, all the same. A rectangle, you just elongate one side, all corners are 90 degrees. Those two are equal, those two are equal. That's a square and a rectangle. That's what we're shooting for. Now there are common non-rectangular shapes that we want to avoid and that tend to creep up into our work. And first is a parallelogram. Now a square is a parallelogram, but let me draw you a shape that is not a square, that is a parallelogram. So that means that this corner is not 90 degrees anymore. Those two can be equal, as can those two, but it's not 90 degrees. So I'm going to write the property, and that is opposite sides are equal, corners are not 90 degrees. A trapezoid often will look like this, 90 degrees, but this side won't be parallel to that one. That one will be parallel, but that one won't. An isosceles trapezoid looks like this, and with no 90 degrees at all, but the opposite side, isosceles, are equal. So this is one set of opposite sides are parallel. That's how you define a trapezoid. So these things often is what we end up with instead of this. So let's take a square or rectangle that we want and put it into 3D. That's called a right rectangular prism. Often like a board, right? That's a right rectangular prism. And I'm going to place symbols, meaning that's a 90-degree angle. This side, there's another 90-degree angle, and this is all a bit superfluous, meaning making one of them is going to make them all 90 degrees. But every side is 90 degrees, and that is equal to that. And that is equal to that, is equal to that, is equal to that. And that are the same as those fronts. And then the sides, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 is equal to this, is equal to that. Right? Understand all of those similarities in a right rectangular prism. Now let's define square. The simplest form of square in woodworking is all corners 90 degrees. By making them 90 degrees, it automatically makes all of our sides equal. Now to number 5. We have some tools that allow us to check for square. And that's these here. And let me zoom out. I think that's all I got. So first we have an engineer square. That's this one here. And you're supposed to sketch it. So I'm going to put a blade on it there. Blade on it there. The next is a combination square. That's that one there, called a combination square because it has a 90-degree angle and a 45-degree angle. Now, right, these are great because we can check stuff for square. So I'm going to draw that combination square. And then last, the framing square, which is just a lot larger. They use it in framing. Okay. Engineer square, combination square, and framing square. These tend to be very accurate, and this ones have super high degree of accuracy generally. Framing squares generally have the worst accuracy. But I check all of my squares before they come in their shop, make sure they're good. And right, each of them are used for something a little bit different. This one, small one, can be used for measuring small angles. This one a little bit larger, and then, you know, big stuff is made for checking for square on bigger items. Okay, I'm going to take a little break.